Start.
Namaskaram. Good evening to everyone watching this and our respected guests for today. Quote, Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. Unquote. It's been 129 years since Swami Vivekananda's address in Chicago, but these words still resonate in our hearts till today and always will. After this momentous speech that touched the world, Swamiji became a wandering monk in the pursuit of knowledge, only to return to his motherland in 1897. And thus, this year commemorates 125 years of Swamiji's return to India. We, the members of ALBE Academy, in association with Sri Krishna Sweets, proudly present to you the third episode of the series on understanding Swami Vivekananda. It is a conversation series with inspired personalities from various walks of life to inspire the youngsters and help build a resurgent India. I would now like Ananya to introduce you to the eminent personalities of today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Srivarsha. I consider it my honor to introduce our two illustrious guests today. Dr. Varagunan Mahadevan sir is a family physician, assistant professor at McMaster University, Canada. Dr. Varagunan is a humble admirer of Swami Vivekananda. He interprets science and spirituality and has delivered many talks. A sincere devotee, and he is also a sincere devotee of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Holy Mother Sharda Devi. We also have with us Thiru M. Murali, Sri Krishna Sweets, Chennai, who is very well known for his philanthropic activities and always engages in doing good for society. So, we seek your blessings today and request you to inaugurate today's session and deliver a few words.
Thank you, thank you. I'm proud to be the third edition of this Understanding Vivekananda. எவ்வளவு ஒரு சந்தோஷமான விஷயங்க இந்த அவரை பற்றி பேசுறது, அவரை பற்றி கேட்கறது. ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக், ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக். ஐ திங்க் Bukya already told sisters and brothers, that single word that makes everything difference. எப்போதுமே ஒரு வார்த்தை யார் சொல்றாங்கங்கிறத பொறுத்து எல்லாருமே இது ரெகுலராகவே இப்போ எல்லா பொலிட்டீஷியன்ஸும் எல்லாருமே கடைசியில் ஒரு வார்த்தை சொல்லுவாங்க. ஆனால் சுவாமிஜிட்டு வந்த வார்த்தை இட்ஸ் கம் ஃப்ரம் ஹார்ட். ரொம்ப ஆசையாக உண்மையாக இட்ஸ் பி அ ட்ரூ வேர்ட்ஸ், தட் இஸ் sisters and brothers. You just listen that word, its original word, such a vibrant word. Once everybody following these two words in their life, that's all. That's all. They can get everything. Because the human relationship is most important to everything. Once they understand the relationship between other sisters and brothers, that's all. There is lot of meaning in that. So, this last meeting I told youngsters, girls and boys, I want to tell one thing. This is a fantastic program, Understanding Vivekananda. The topic itself amazing. So, you must take away minimum 2 to 3 points. That's enough. We cannot completely learn about Vivekananda. It's impossible. அதுக்கு ஒரு ஜென்மம் பத்தார். அவ்வளோ விஷயங்கள் அதில் இருக்கு. அவருக்கு ஒரு 2 விஷயம் மிஸ்டர் மகாதேவன் வந்திருக்காரு. அவரெல்லாம் விவேகானந்தர் அப்படியே உள்ள வாங்கினவர். He live his words. So அவருக்கு ஒரு 2 விஷயம் take away, you can take it from him, that make the miracles in your life. Last time I said divine power, divine wisdom, and divine love. This is coming from Deviga, Arivu, Deviga, Anbu, Deviga, Sakti. This word is very powerful. அதே மாதிரி sisters and brothers அப்படிங்கிற வேர்டு very powerful. அவற்றிலிருந்து வந்தங்காட்டி இட்ஸ் பிகேம் எ மந்திரச்சொல், It's a meditation verse. Once you can go deep on that verse, every day you just 100 times you say sisters and brothers, sisters and brothers. That make your life fantastic. Whenever you see everything, not only that human being, you can everything you feel the love in everything. இவர் பாரதியார் சொன்ன மாதிரி காக்கை சிறகனிலே நந்தலாலா உன் கரிய நிறம் தோன்றுதையா நந்தலாலா வாக்கும் இடங்கள் எல்லாம் நந்தலாலா உன் பச்சை நிறம் தோன்றுதையா நந்தலாலா தீக்குள் விரலை வைத்தால் நந்தலாலா உன்னை தீண்டு பின்பும் தோன்றுதையா. When you are seeing everything with your pure love and affection, you feel the difference. Your lifestyle change, miracles can happen. So these two words, sisters and brothers, that make you in a different world. Whenever you can talk with others in that mentality, you can feel the difference. Once you are at your team, your setup, your peoples, whenever they meet, they call you as a sister or brother, then that makes the difference. So your surrounding become a excellent ambience, well, very positive things. Once there is a positive is there, miracles can happen. Thank you very much, Ma. I don't want to be between Mahadevan and you. You learn lot from Mr. Mahadevan. He's a very. He's not a doctor. He is a person have lot of thought process. He can give only not medicine. He can give a pure love also. Love with medicine makes a miracle. So, thank you, sir. Thank you, be the part of this program. And as usual, the big team, ALBE team, is working very well. They want to take to the next generation into a different angle. I'm happy to be a part of this. Nice of you, Ma. Take care. Bye. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம் சார். ஒரு நாளைக்கு சந்திப்போம் சார். தேங்க்யூ
கண்டிப்பா.
சார்.
தேங்க்யூ so much, Murali sir.
தேங்க்யூ சார். Thank you, Ma.
Thank you so much, sir, for your well wishes. Now, sir, Varaganan sir, shall we move on to the questions?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for young friends, Varsha and Ananya. You know what? We are in 3 different parts of the world. I mean, I'm in Canada and Varsha is in Delhi and Ananya is in Chennai. So it's a great, nice morning here, and I think it's a nice evening there at 6 o'clock. So let's start our conversation on Swami Vivekananda.
Yes, sir. To begin, the first question is, what is your definition of spirituality in reference to the teachings of Swami Vivekananda?
That's a great question, but that's also a very has a deep meaning in that. Swami Vivekananda defines spirituality in different ways. So when we come to spirituality, it also connects to the religion whichever we are following. It could be we Hindus, Christianity, Muslims. So but the religion and spirituality are much more confused nowadays. So Swami Vivekananda has clearly said what is spirituality. It's the man-making mission or man-making religion, and self-realization is what is actually Swami Vivekananda's definition of spirituality. Self-realization. Who am I? So in Vedanta, from the Rishis and Upanishads and Vedas of the great treasures of India, they have all gone deep and that search. So that search is what Swami Vivekananda wants to be the spirituality as a definition. But he made it little amendments in those words. He said, it's not only your own self-search, but it's a man-making religion which actually includes everyone in the earth. It can be the nature, it can be a poor person, it can be the so-called the downtrodden, the caste-ridden person. It came from Sri Ramakrishna. It says, Jiva Seva is the Siva Puja. You can go on meditating, you can go on practicing religion, but if you forget that your neighbor, your fellow human being is suffering, there is no spirituality. So spirituality is recognizing the God inside you and inside your neighbor, your sister, your brother. That is what Swami Vivekananda preached. So again, getting back to that magic word, sisters and brothers of America, before Swami Vivekananda spoke, I think there are two or three people also spoke the same words, but there was no claps or no ovation, standing ovation. Why Swami Vivekananda's words became the mantra or the magic words? Because, as Murali said, it came from his heart. So Murali quoted a verse from Bharatiyar. Subramania Bharatiyar is a great poet of Tamil Nadu. We should be proud of Subramania Bharatiyar. But who inspired him is Swami Vivekananda through Sister Nivedita. I'm sure we all know. And Subramania Bharatiyar's another verse called Ullattil Unmai Oli Undanal Vakinil Oli Undagum. That means if you have light in your heart, whatever you speak becomes enlightened or light. The light will flow from the heart here. Do I sound reasonable?
Yes, sir.
So yes, sir. Moving on. I mean, the explanation was really the way you just related spirituality with religion and how it has changed over time and how you spoke about the golden times of before times. I would move on to the next question, sir. It's almost related to this because we've been talking about spirituality. So, sir, how do you find the interdependence between spirituality and work abroad? Because right now you're living abroad, away from India, away from your roots right now. So, how do you find interdependence between spirituality and work there? And how do you think the values set by Swami Vivekananda help people to reminisce about the aspects of spirituality in today's ignorant and hustle bustle lifestyle, sir?
Great question. For me, this is Mother Earth. So I don't differentiate between India and Canada or US. This is all uh, you know, my home. So this is my home. Canada is my home. And of course, the lifestyle change has come with the culture, with Indian culture and the Western culture. There's lifestyle. And I think when you mentioned a word, the ignorant world or present day ignorant world, and you also mentioned something which I humbly disagree, that you said the good old days. We love to say, people in my age would love to say, oh, and the kalathile, good old days, we had this and oh, what is there now? That is absolutely wrong. I think my opinion, I may be wrong. My opinion, that is every time is golden time. This period is golden time. This is the time we are able to speak from Canada to the Delhi and Chennai. In 1970, when I was a child, we have to make a trunk call and speak. So this is the golden time. So the time is, whether this is golden time or is the miserable time, is all depend on how we look at the world. It's not the world has changed. The world is changing. I think we are living in the best time of the world now, best time in the history of the world. So much scientific innovation, so much science, and so much information is there, and we are able to, once upon a time, when I was a teenager like you, we have to rely only on a newspaper and this one TV channel. Now we have lots of information among us, and we can actually study and we can decide which is right and which is wrong. We are not spoon fed like when we were there. So first of all, I would like to make a small correction. Now, the Western culture is what Swami Vivekananda saw. There's good things and there are bad things. Indian culture, there is lots of good things, maybe few bad things. Swami Vivekananda's message here is, why did Swami Vivekananda was born? I'm going to come to that little later. But you asked the question, the connection between spirituality and work. According to Swami Vivekananda, don't separate these two. Your work is worship. That's what he said. So every moment of your work is worship. When I see a patient, that is Narayana I am seeing. Whether I practice it or not, at least I should think this is the God himself is coming to me. Narayana Seva. From that, uh, theory, then it flowed through Mahatma Gandhiji and it flowed through all these big revolutionaries that Swami Vivekananda brought this theory. It is not your self improvement in spirituality. That is what there is an incident. Swami Vivekananda asked Sri Ramakrishna, I want to attain samadhi like you. I want to meditate all my Swami Vivek. So Sri Ramakrishna said, that is not for you. You are here to awaken the world. So to answer your question, I don't see spirituality different from work. Work is worship and work is spirituality. And I know when we were children, maybe when you were in grade 5, you're asked to write an essay. What will you do if you become a chief minister? Everybody has. Or what will you become? What will you do if you become the prime minister? So we all write, oh, I will change the world. I will bring this. I will bring that. I will build roads. But remember, ask that question every walk of life. What would you do best when you're doing work? When you're studying? I am a student now. What would you do as a student? Write an essay. So work and spirituality should be the intermingled, and we should be practicing spirituality in whatever work we do. That is my simple answer.
Thank you, sir, for such a positive, broad, optimistic outlook on the question I gave. It really opened a lot of horizons for both Ananya and me and the audience who are watching this for a very positive outlook. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, I agree with her. We usually don't hear, grown-ups telling us that, that even our time is the golden time. They usually always refer to our time as a comparatively worse time. So this was very uplifting. So thank you, sir.
I remember an incident here. There was this one senior Swami at Chennai Ramakrishna Math. So this one devotee came and said, "Oh Maharaj, I actually put leave to my office 1 hour, and I came to do meditation in the temple." The Swami, the senior monk, he got so angry and said, "Hey, just go out of the mud, go to your office. You meditate by working there." That really stuck me. You know what? We are proud. Oh, today is Shivaratri. I'm just going to put leave and go to the temple and pray. No, your work is worship. That is what Swami Vivekananda preached.
Thank you, sir. My next question to you is, when you're faced with difficulties in your life, whether it be work or otherwise, what are some anecdotes or quotes or stories of Swami Vivekananda's that you keep in mind to sort of fortify your strength while the storm passes? Are there anything that you like to keep in mind when you're going through something tough?
That's another great question. So first of all, we need to define what is the difficulty means. When we are born as a human beings, our life is not going to be smooth sailing. There is going to be ups and downs and ups and downs. So there comes Swamiji's thoughts on what is called renunciation. This word is a huge word, big word, renunciation. That means we all renounce the world, we all renounce our house, go to a mutt or get sannyasa, and then, no, renunciation, according to Swami Vivekananda, is not that. Renunciation is whatever comes like we say, oh, it's a good thing. I passed my exam. I'm going to go for IAS. I'm going to be a IAS officer from now onward. That is a very happy occasion. Oh, I have failed in my exam. Or my job is gone because of COVID. Or I'm suffering from this disease. This is a sad occasion. This is what we call the difficulty. But Swami Vivekananda said, take both at the same way. Don't get attached to these things. It is a very difficult thing to practice. I don't know. I have practiced that, but it's a great thing. Swamiji said this came again from Sri Ramakrishna. Not getting attached to the world or whatever you're doing. You're doing it as a karma yoga, or, these are big words. I don't want to bring it here. So everything, take it as it comes. For that, you're not going to stop misery coming to you. You're not going to stop the praise coming from, or the wealth. See, there are two things you can get. One is the money or the wealth. The other one is the puhal in Tamil, in praise, glory. And these two can really upset people. If you don't spend your money, you're going to be in big trouble. Same thing. If you don't tackle your praise, it's going to be a problem. So these are what we call the positive things. The negative things, a disease, a death, a failure, or it's war, COVID. Now, these are going to come to our lives. Our lives is not very predictable now, especially nowadays. It can be up and down. How do we face these? According to Swami, you have to be strong. Make yourself strong to face the world. So how do you make yourself strong? Follow Swami Vivekananda's teachings. Make yourself strong. That is where Swami Vivekananda says again about spirituality and religion. Because many of us, when we talk about spirituality, we try to, criticize all the religious practices. Oh, what is a chariot festival? Why do you want to go to temple? Why do you want to do japa? Because you're a spiritual person? No. These are the practices which makes you, your body and the mind strong, so that you can face the challenges what Ananya just mentioned. Do I sound reasonable?
Yes, sir. I have not a follow-up question exactly, but I have another question to ask in relation to
Yes.
Swami Vivekananda. Swamiji has always been known to be very fond of music, and you are also quite a prodigious musician, a percussionist as well as a vocalist. So my question to you is, how did your journey in music begin, and what role does it play in your life now? And how do you relate music? I mean, do you, and if you do, how do you relate your musical journey with Swami Vivekananda as well?
So Swami Vivekananda is a multifaceted personality. If you look at it, he was a great pakwaj, or tabla player. He was a great vocalist, and but these are part of your life. Everybody has different talents. The issue is we don't recognize our talents and move forward. Many of us. So music is my passion and it's a hobby. I'm not a professional musician. Thanks for the nice words, but I'm not a professional musician. I'm a bathroom singer and I play tabla in the Ramakrishna Math bhajans and the songs. That's all. I don't play. So music has a great way of relaxing your body, relaxing your mind, and focus things. It's music is like if you go deep into music, there's lots of. It's like learning mathematics. And so I think everybody should try learning music. It is not that somebody is born as a musician. Everybody has talents in them, hidden talents. That's where Swami Vivekananda came and said, realize what talents you have inside you. There is so much potential in you. You can come out. So Music really is a way of reaching people. Music has no language. Music goes across the boundaries of countries. So I love music, and but I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur musician.
So before we move on to more questions, we would be like delighted to, be able to listen to you singing a devotional song. It would be great, sir. Could you please, like, if you were willing to just, you know, delight our ears with your
Sure.
song on any devotional song, sir? Or yeah, sir.
I'll sing two lines.
Okay, sir.
It's a nice bhajan. Kare Gopal ki sab hoy, Kare Gopal ki sab hoy, जो अपनों पुरुषार्थ मानत अति झूठो है सोई करि गोपाल की सब होई. This is the Surdas song. There was a Swami called Swami Purushottamananda ji. I'm sure you might have heard of him. He's no more. He attained Samadhi. If you happen to go and download his songs, very heart touching. I mean, I have seen him. I have played tabla when he was in Chennai for just one song. It's very hard to play tabla for Swami because he has his own team. So I had to get recommendation from Swamis, and can I play just one song for the Ramakrishna Mat Kumbhabhishekam? I was honored to play one song.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
It
sir.
was
That was
you.
very beautiful.
Yes, sir, that was indeed very beautiful. So to move on, sir, like we've talked about you being a musician and a percussionist, let's talk about another field you are working right now, sir. So we've seen a lot of YouTube videos and of your previous interactions, and we've seen that so you've dealt a lot with these several challenging aspects of psychological disorders in your interactions, such as psychosomatic disorders and dementia, and you've tried to break these down in simple terms in layman language for everyone to understand, sir. So, what motivated you to apprise people on psychological disorders through your videos and interactions?
Thank you. I mean, it all started with, as a doctor, my work doesn't end just treating patients. As a doctor, I also have a duty to educate people. And in Canada, we are big in what we call patient education. It's not patient treatment. So we can prevent a lot of diseases by enlightening patients or the public. Simple things. I think you must have seen some of my videos on psychological topics, but I have done a lot of talks on blood pressure, diabetes, and both physical and mental disorders. My idea is to go in a very simple terms and talk to people about common problems and teach them in a very simple way so that they can understand and they can maybe change their lifestyle or go to the doctor when there is a need. So that was my ambition or my so it is gone, and I mean, I mixed with a little bit of humor and music, and it actually gives them a little it's putting some one those days they used to give medicine with some honey so that it won't be bitter. So to make things interest, I also mix with some humor and music, and some people like it, so that's what is going on.
Yes,
So the
sir, that
people
was
definitely love it, sir.
yes, sir. So, and also a follow-up question, just like because we've seen right now things are very problematic around the world, different things happening, pandemic, fear of war and all that. So, sir, since you're dealing a lot with psychological disorders and stuff, people always find it to be a taboo to talk about their mental illnesses and seek help. So, what would you like to tell to people like these who are, who consider these myths and try not to take help or consider help when they're facing difficult situation mentally and need support from professionals? Yes, sir.
Great question, Varsha. So basically, what do you call a good health? It is the physical health as well as the psychological health. Some people They're psychologically very well healthy. They're pleasant. They're smiling all the time. No worries. But they may be having some bodily issues like diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. So that is not healthy life. Many people are very healthy. You can see bodily wise they're healthy, but when their mind is not healthy, you don't call it health. So it's two things, body and mind. There you comes the good health. But what happens is when we have a problem with our physical body, we like to go to the medical professional, the doctors, and speak to them and get help. But unfortunately, it's not only in India, it's even in the Western countries. There is very little awareness about the psychological illnesses. It's not only very little awareness, there is lots of misconceptions, myths, and there is a stigma attached to it, a shame attached to it. Nobody wants to tell somebody, I feel depressed. Nobody wants to tell, I feel anxious, because there's a shame attached to it. And people think if I mention this to somebody, my brother or my friend, they will think I'm weak. That weakness part is attached to the mental illness. I give a quick example. It's a famous example I give is if somebody having diabetes, they will go and get treatment from the doctors. Maybe it's insulin, maybe it's tablets, and lifestyle changes. They don't care. And nowadays it's become a fashion for the diabetes. So what is your sugar level, and what is your sugar level? There is no problem. But same thing, diabetes for the physical body, it can be depression to the psychological, to the mind. And there is a big misunderstanding about, I'm saying, about depression and anxiety, the mood disorders, is this is caused by something. Say somebody's loved one dies, then you feel sad. You feel sad for some time and then you recover. That is not depression. So depression as a disease is called major depressive illness. This disease can occur even without any cause, and this can be triggered by something like a death or a failure. And this needs to be treated. When I say treated, it is not by medicine alone. There is lifestyle changes. There is good friends, good family support, meditation, relaxation, music. These all play a part. Now, if you let me, I will talk about an hour about depression and things. So my conclusion here is, please take any mental symptoms seriously and discuss it with your parents, your brothers, sisters, or your good friends, and get help as soon as possible. Like if you have a pain in your hand, you will tell your mother, Mama, my hand is paining, I don't know why. So your mom will take you to the doctor. Same thing. You can tell your mother, Mom, I'm not, finding peace in my thoughts are all over the place nowadays. I'm feeling depressed. I'm not able to sleep. Talk to your family first. Talk to your friends and talk to your doctors. That's the simple message I want to give it.
Thank you, sir. That was a really good help, because right now all of us as youngsters, we have these, major mood swings, and we try to take our mental health not in a serious way. So thank you for that, sir.
One quick thing, it's not only this period, we also had same, even Swami Vivekananda's time, it was there. So not to worry, but you are living in one of the best times, I can say.
Thank you, sir. Um, my next question to you, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the science you practice, which is family health in medicine, it deals with comprehensive healthcare for people of, a very wide age group of almost all ages. So, what exactly is the difference between catering to such a wide age group rather than focusing on just one? And what are some of the challenges that you face in your field?
Thank you for that question, Ananya. I practice in Ontario, province of Ontario in Canada. So Canada has what we call a one-tier system. That is means there is no private hospitals here. There is no private healthcare here. And family medicine, in India, we call it GPs or general practitioners. Here we are known as family physicians. So to give you a simple example, if you want to see a cardiologist, say you have a chest pain, in India, you can go directly and see a cardiologist, not in Canada. In Canada, you have to go and see your family physician. First, we have to do all the investigations. Then, if necessary, we will refer somebody to the cardiologist. This applies to every specialty. This is the good old system India had. That means the doctor took care of everything. So we are called family physicians because we take care of the whole families. And you rightly said we take care from 0 to 100. That is newborn babies to the elderly, 98-year-old elderly person. We take care as a family physician. If you've seen the good old movies, the doctor with a little bag comes to visit your house and treat the whole family. So that was a great system we had. I'm not trying to because science have grown up and every country has different system. But in Canada, we still have that GP system. We call it family physicians, and we actually treat the families. And in medicine, we see the patient as a family doctor. We see the patient as a whole. That means, say for example, you have a fracture of your ankle. You go to an orthopedic surgeon. But here you go to the emergency and the emergency physician send you to the orthopedic doctor. And the orthopedic doctor looks at your ankle. He may be putting a plate and screws and do surgery and send you home. He doesn't look at your heart. He doesn't look at your mind. He doesn't, he treats your fracture. But a family physician, we treat, that's what you said, the comprehensive care. We treat them as a whole, as a person. We don't look at your ear and say, you have an ear infection. We also say, hey, you have ear infection. What happens? We treat the infection, but we look at you as a whole. You have to go to work tomorrow. You're a bus driver. You have an ear infection. How can you go to work? No, so we will put you off work. So we don't treat the symptom or the disease alone. We look at everybody as a whole person. And we do a lot of preventive care in Canada. So that is what, to answer your question, I am a proud family physician or a GP. And here we have access to all the families and we have the first contact. That's what we are called as a primary care physicians in Canada.
Thank you for the new information, sir. It's definitely something new for all of us to learn. It's because it's not how it is here in India. So thank you for that. You have, apart from medicine, you have conducted several interviews with very eminent personalities like Padma Vibhushan Dr. K.J. Yeshudas and National Film Award winning actress Manorama, as we've seen on your YouTube channel. Do you have any tips for students like us that are still navigating through interviewing and experiences like this, sir?
I think you have done a lot of research on my videos. And yes, so I was partly a producer broadcasting and I had held positions in TV stations. You asked for tips. So my style is I actually go prepare as you guys did today. I prepare well about the personality, but on the day of the interview, I will be very natural and it'll be like a conversation. And I won't have any motive. I won't put my thoughts to them because the person whom I'm interviewing, say Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Jesudas, it is his interview. So I will be in the background and I will be just throwing very short questions and the follow-up questions will be very short and it'll be follow-ups and follow-up. I don't have any agenda. when I interviewed Dr. KJ Jesudas, I interviewed the great actress Padmini and, of course, Manorama, a lot of celebrities. But you won't see me there. You will see the celebrities there. So that's a good tip than trying to show off your knowledge about music or your knowledge about movies. I'm not there. I'm here to highlight their achievements. So whenever you are trying to interview, it can be a TV interview, it can be interview for your personal university work or a school work. Put that person in front, and you are just bringing their greatness in the front. That's my simple thing. And I don't carry even a single piece of paper when I do interviews. I don't look at my, no, it should come flow naturally, and you can get more information and more out of them being very natural. So I don't keep any papers, or I don't keep even points to ask what this should I ask.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You are really, broadening our horizons a lot today, sir, because as amateur interviewers, we have this conception of, being very conscious when we are taking interviews of people and trying to put us in the limelight. But then you give us a whole new definition about how the interview should be, and who, like, just, being the person just trying to help those people to be in spotlight, and, just knowing them better. So thank you for that tip. So that, I guess, this tip will be helpful to all the audience viewing this and us, especially because we are navigating our way through interviewing people. Yes, sir. Moving on to the next question. Again, this is a question about clearing conceptions, sir. So you're into these various fields of, medicine, music, spirituality, and science all at the same time. But since a long time, or even now, this misconception about people, about how a person cannot master various fields at the same time, or cannot be in different fields at the same time. It is also not usually encouraged in many of the households as well, sir. So could you please share your side of the story, breaking this myth, and tell us how a person can be adept in different fields?
Uh, you know what? I'm not in different fields, but these are some of my passions. So never hide your passion. Never hide. The Swamiji has said, never hide the child inside you. I would like to play cricket. Go ahead and play cricket. That is like what we call in the Western countries of thinking out of the box. So here you are going to be a doctor, or you're going to be an IAS officer. I have to confine to these four walls. That's not true. Swami Vivekananda proved that. And Swami Vivekananda was like a multifaceted personality. So if you look at from each side, so here I got this message from thinking out of the box. And do you may be good in something, you may not be bad in something. I went and played cricket with my friends, and they always say you are a ball picker. So I was always ball picker because I was not good in cricket or sports. But then I tried tabla. Yes, it worked. I played mirdangam. It worked. Try different. What is going? You're not going to lose anything. Same thing when you are interviewing. Ask any question. No question is a bad question. Ask any question you comes to your mind. Don't think, oh, will this person think bad about me? No. But to develop those good qualities, I think it's the practice. Lot of reading needs to be done. It's not just simply asking question. It becomes very bad questions nowadays. Everything is recorded, but having a solid background, that how the background is developed by reading good material, reading good books, and speaking with good personalities, looking at watching videos. Now we have YouTube and all these, but it's very hard because there is an ocean of information, and there is multiple people trying to convince to follow their faith or follow their thing. Absolutely, you can study everything, but choose your own way and choose your natural way. And thinking out of the box is a great thing. It's fun to do it in a safe way. So just thinking, out of the way and then going into the Marina Beach and going deep, that is very dangerous. No. Or going and climbing up Qutub Minar in Delhi is not thinking out of the box. So it has to be safe and it has to be fun and it has to be productive and useful to the others. I think we all have inner potential. That is where Swami Vivekananda comes. Look inside of you and then bring that out. That way you could be the greatest person and the next generation.
Thank you, sir. I have a kind of follow-up question. You practice science, but you also preach spirituality, and there's a lot of, that itself is an argument of its own. So how do you combine both of them? Because I'm sure it's on the minds of skeptics and devotees. How do you manage to combine both in your life harmoniously?
Excellent question. As you said, it's a very broad question. Spirituality and science, they are not two different things. We have made it two different things. Oh, going to temple is spirituality and practicing science or medicine is something different. So that is where Swami Vivekananda's Vedanta, new science, comes there. Swami Vivekananda's the goal. I mean, he had many goals, but one of the goals is bring the good things from West, the science, the discipline, everything from the West, and teach the Westerners the great Sanatana Dharma, the great uh, religion we have or the spirituality we have. So Swami Vivekananda is the first person to integrate these two. And what I say, customization. So let's give us an example. Say you're buying I'm sure Srivarsha must have got a new laptop when you got into the university. What do you do? We have all computers and laptops. What we do is all the laptops, it can be the same brand. It can be, say, iMac or Windows. It can be the same. But if you take Varsha's laptop and if you take Ananya's laptop and my laptop, we have set those laptops to in a different way. No two laptops are the same. Same thing, our life. Swami Vivekananda says, customize according to the environment or according to the profession we are in. So customization is taking good things about many things and putting it in our life and customization. So the spirituality should be intermixed with science. Science is a spiritual thing and spirituality is a science. So I don't see any difference. The argument or the misunderstanding comes is when somebody says spirituality is meditation, japa, and visiting temples and listening to lectures, and science is what you do in the lab or in the hospital or anything. That is absolutely false and it's a myth. So you can integrate spirituality in your work, and your work can be a worship. That is how Swami Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna Mutt and the Ramakrishna Mission.
Thank you, sir. So, since you've talked about passion and about how everybody has that inner potential, I just wanted to ask a question related to youngsters right now, sir, because our series are especially for the youngsters to help them navigate through life. So, right now, youngsters are always torn between following their passion and doing something else. There's always this confusion and collision between what they're doing right now and then following their passion. So, is there any tip you would like to give to us youngsters trying to know up go to walk towards our passion or working something we don't like to do?
Great question. Yes. I mean, let me quote Swami Vivekananda again. So he said, youngsters, especially for the youngsters, purity of mind. So as you said, nowadays, you use the word lot nowadays, we have so many things in front of us. We don't know which is good, which is bad. Some people are great speakers who can convince you and we call it brainwashing, convince you and take to their side. Some people are not that great speakers, but they can actually be the truth. So, say for example, I want to be a great Bharatanatyam dancer, but my parents are pushing I should be a engineer or a lawyer or a doctor. These are the things for big passion for the parents, not for the students. Engineer, doctor, accountant, or a lawyer. Otherwise, you're good for nothing. So, I mean, I can understand, but take Padma Subramaniam. I know everybody knows Padma Subramaniam. She's an excellent dancer. Take A.R. Rahman. He didn't even pass grade 8. Ilayaraja is the musicians. Zakir Hussain. Of course, Zakir Hussain's father was a great tablaist. So these are different walks of life we see in India. We have so many avenues. So follow the passion. That's what I would say. But don't upset your parents. But follow the passion. But show that. Try different things. You may work. Some things may work. Some things may not work. Don't get disheartened by it's not working for me. You can try. You have a whole life ahead of you to decide what you're going to be. You could be the greatest singer. So that's what Swami Vivekananda said. Know your potential. Go inside, know your potential. And Swami Vivekananda's great message to the youth was that get rid of that inferiority complex. That is what is killing. When Swami Vivekananda was born, 1863, that's the time India was under British rule. And they cleverly, even now, they cleverly can slowly brainwash and put things down. Oh, you're Indian. Oh, you're not good as Westerners. And they made us thinking anything coming from West is the best. Anything coming from England or those days, not now. I mean, even now, I'm saying anything in the West is the best. That is absolutely no truth in it. And they made us so many years of oppression from the Britishers, from various other Mughals. Everybody came and conquered India and ruled India and made, they destroyed our cultures and temples and art forms. Also, the Britishers, they actually made us think that we are inferior. Even now, we carry that thought. Anything Indian, but this is foreign. Everything is foreign is good. That is absolutely no truth in it. So Swami Vivekananda, born, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said, Sambhavami yuge yuge, when dharma goes down and paritranaya, we all know that sloka. When the dharma goes down, so Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, they came in that age to remind us culture, our great culture of India. So take away that inferiority complex. And Swami Vivekananda gave us courage to, think that we are great. Our ancient culture is great. We don't have to depend on the West. But what happened was, due to these external forces, we were all went down and down and down, and we were thinking, okay, we have to, get the Western culture to be a developed nation or a developed person. That is absolutely wrong. So get things, that inferiority complex, out of your mind. You'll be very successful.
Thank you, sir. And yes, sir, moving on to our last question for the session. So, we've also seen that you were a lot into, like, you have visited several villages and places in India. and provided them with information and demos on basic medical aspects as well, such as blood pressure and diabetes. So, what do you suggest to people who want to take the same path and help the people in villages, or reach out to people who are in need and help them know about the basic knowledge on aspects that they're not aware of?
Yes. So, I mean, I was fortunate to do that. I still do we do a lot of work in Sri Lanka, war-torn areas, and India. Um, Remember, we are all fortunate people. We're good parents. We have, good education. But what about the unfortunate people who are there? Those who have been, just kept out of the society. Swami Vivekananda said, take a globe and a lamp and teach whoever is there. Teach there is a word like this. This is the lamp to empower the unfortunate. We all have a duty to do that because the discrepancy between the rich and poor, rich in the sense not only money wise, education wise. So these are the vulnerable sections of our society, which, the people, the there are vultures waiting to catch them, and they keep on reminding, oh, you are from a lower caste and you're from a higher caste. There are so many divisions in our society. Let's forget all the politics there. We have too much politics going on nowadays. But let's do our small step. What I call it, a small step. If every one of us do small steps, we can definitely change Bharat or India or the whole world. So small step. If I live in, say, Chennai, I can go to a slum area, teach a poor child something. I know I'm just saying it's, you don't need to start tomorrow. I'm going to the slum, or I'm going to a homeless person, or I'm going to the village in Madurai, or I'm going to a village in Uttar Pradesh. No, that is why it is very dangerous for you to go alone. It is very dangerous to a young lady like ladies like both of you to go. That is why Swami Vivekananda established this great organization called Ramakrishna Mission and Ramakrishna Mutt. In Sanatana Dharma, in previous Bharat, all these rishis and yogis, they went to the temples and they went to Himalayas, they went to Kashi, and they were meditating and they actually got liberated. But Swami Vivekananda says this is selfish liberation. That is not going to help. So that's what he said. Yes, you can be a sannyasini, you can be a sannyasin. Stay within the community and then you can help. He made an organization so that it is safe for these sannyasis and the volunteers and the devotees to go to the unfortunate people to help and do a lot of volunteer work. I'll give you a quick example. In Canada, if you want to pass grade 12, you should have had done 50 volunteer hour work. So I don't think it has come to India yet. But here, if you want to get your grade 12 certificate, it's not only the marks, but 50 hours of volunteer work in a reputable place, you have to get their certificate. So Swami Vivekananda very nicely said, you can be spiritual. You can do your japa. You can do your homa. You can do your meditation. But that is not enough. So go to the poor, go to the masses. That's what you see now. Ramakrishna Mission, any calamities. It can be a flood. It can be earthquake. It can be a communal riot. Ramakrishna Mission is there first people to, hand over all the relief work. So that I would actually recommend you going to the people, and teaching is one thing, helping them another thing. Whatever you can do, you may not do big things, but small things, little things. Let's plan. This week I'm going to do this. This next week I'm going to go to this village. Even just sitting and talking with them. talking to the lady who is selling the flowers. எப்படிமா இருக்கீங்க? How are you? What is your lifestyle? By knowing them. Swami Vivekananda, before he sailed to the USA, he on foot he went all through Bharat, all along India, lived with the poor people, lived with the so-called lower caste people, the so-called marginalized people. He went through and he cried everything he saw in the world. Then he came to Kanyakumari and meditated. Then he went to the USA. And he's the man who brought both cultures together and showed us a path. We are greatness. The spirituality lies in realizing that greatness. That is spirituality.
Thank you so much for your great words, sir. This entire session has been so fruitful and so knowledgeable for all of us watching, and for both of us to be able to directly converse with you also is a great opportunity. And so to end, Srivasha will be presenting the vote of thanks.
Firstly, sir, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, to talk to you, converse with you, and get a lot of information that we haven't had until now. That a new idea about how to see towards things, how to see the world, a very positive outlook. So yes, sir. I, on the behalf of ALBE Academy, thank everyone, all the audience present here, for being a huge support in this series. And then thank you, Mr. Varagunan Mahadevan, sir, because you're giving us your precious time to us, conversing with us so long and talking to us in such, great, giving us a very positive outlook. Thank you a lot for that, sir. And we also thank Murali, sir, for, for his gracious presence that he gave and the speech. And yes, to conclude, we'll be back again the next week with another session on understanding Swami Vivekananda with another eminent guest who has an inspiration of Swami Vivekananda all through his life. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much again.
Thank you, sir.